If you saw the 2009 Roland Emmerich movie 2012, then you may have seen the supervolcano eruption of Yellowstone in the United States that occurs in the movie, releasing so much ash that it completely blankets cities such as Las Vegas, thousands of miles away. But is this really realistic? The answer is no. Yellowstone will not erupt anytime soon. We'll all be gone because of some other cause like climate change or nuclear weapons way before Yellowstone even has a chance of erupting on the scale that it did that time or during its last supervolcano eruption 600,000 years ago. And this is because of the way in which it works, because Yellowstone is a hotspot volcano, which means it forms through an area in the mantle, which then breaks a hole in the crust, and it doesn't form over a plate boundary. Because of this, the mantle doesn't actually move, but the crust does move around it. Of course, we know that it's called plate tectonics. And because of this, the area around Yellowstone is starting to move away from the hotspot area in the mantle from which all this magma was previously being released that caused the supervolcano eruptions. In fact, this very process has spawned some of the most famous islands on the planet. The Hawaiian Islands are formed through a bunch of small volcanoes that were produced by this hotspot as it moved along the crust, slowly pushing up these small holes in the crust, creating the Hawaiian island chain. In fact, if you look here, you can see the path that this hotspot has taken over the last 100 million years as the plates suddenly switch direction here, causing this curve, and that has spawned the Hawaiian island chain. But if you know something about them, you probably know they aren't very powerful volcanoes. I mean, one of them was erupting while I was making this video, but they aren't very dangerous at all. And Yellowstone is not really in a position to become dangerous either. This is because the only way that a supervolcano eruption can happen there is if there's a lot of magma that's molten instead of having hardened and crystallized, which will happen eventually if you just leave it there. And it also needs huge amounts of CO2 and water vapor to build up under the crust, which creates this pressure. When the pressure gets too great, it breaks a hole in the surface, causing the supervolcanic eruption. The problem is, as you may know, Yellowstone National Park has loads of geysers, and because of this, all of this CO2 and water vapor is constantly being released slowly, which prevents it from building up too significantly. So Yellowstone won't erupt, but what if it did? Well, you'd see basically everyone within 100 miles, about 100,000 people killed instantly. You'd see 90% of people killed within around 1,000 miles by the resultant blast. And you'd also see areas as far away as Los Angeles covered with 10 centimeters of ash, which would be so heavy it would collapse some buildings. And the global famine caused by temperatures falling by 5 degrees from ash emissions could kill up to 1 billion people.